आज हम बात करेंगे CS 101 की, जो आपकी आईटी फील्ड की पहली और सबसे बुनियादी सीढ़ी है। कुछ लोग समझते हैं कि CS 101 का मतलब सिर्फ ये सीखना है कि कंप्यूटर ऑन कैसे होता है या माउस किसे कहते हैं। लेकिन जब पेपर में बाइनरी कन्वर्जन और लॉजिक गेट्स के सवाल आते हैं, तो स्टूडेंट्स का अपना लॉजिक ही काम करना छोड़ देता है। वो एक छोटा सा सिफर और एक आपके पूरे रिजल्ट का रुख बदल सकता है। इसलिए परेशान होने की ज़रूरत नहीं, क्योंकि इस वीडियो में मैंने CS 101 के वो मोस्ट रिपीटेड MCQs और बुनियादी कॉन्सेप्ट्स शामिल किए हैं, जो फाइनल टर्म में आपकी नया पार लगा सकते हैं, देंगे। अगर आप वाकई पास होना चाहते हैं और अपनी डिग्री का पहला कदम मजबूती से रखना चाहते हैं, तो वीडियो को एंड तक लाजमी देखिएगा, क्योंकि मैं वो बातें बताने लगी हूँ जो शायद ही कोई आपको बताए।
Question: which number system uses base 16? Answer: D. Hexadecimal. Explanation: hexadecimal uses 16 symbols 0, 9, and AF to represent values, making it a compact way to represent binary data. Question: what is the output of an AND gate if both inputs are 1? Answer: B1. Explanation: for an AND gate, the output is only true or 1 if every single input is also 1. Question: which memory is directly accessed by the CPU? Answer: B. RAM. Explanation: the CPU retrieves instructions and data from the RAM because it is much faster than accessing secondary storage like a hard drive. Question: which of the following is a high-level programming language? Answer: C. C++. Explanation: C++ is a high-level language because it uses English-like syntax that is easier for humans to read than binary or assembly. Question: what does HTML stand for? Answer: A. Hypertext Markup Language. Explanation: HTML is the standard formatting language used to create the structure and content of web pages. Question: a collection of 8 bits is called? Answer: A. Byte. Explanation: 1 byte is the standard unit used to represent a single character, such as a letter or a symbol in a computer. Question: which device converts digital signals to analog signals? Answer: A. Modem. Explanation: a modem modulates digital data into analog waves for transmission over phone lines and demodulates them back into digital data. Question: which topology connects all devices in a single line? Answer: C. Bus. Explanation: in a bus topology, all nodes share a single central cable, which acts as the communication backbone for the entire network. Question: which protocol is used for sending emails? Answer: C. SMTP. Explanation: Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, SMTP, is the industry standard for transmitting outgoing emails from a client to a mail server. Question: what does LAN stand for? Answer: A. Local Area Network. Explanation: a LAN is a network restricted to a small physical area such as a single room, a house, or an office building. Question: which is a volatile memory? Answer: C. RAM. Explanation: volatile memory is temporary. It requires constant power to hold data and loses everything as soon as the computer is turned off. Question: which is an example of system software? Answer: B. Windows OS. Explanation: system software like Windows manages the computer's hardware resources and provides the platform for other apps to run. Question: which generation of computers used integrated circuits? Answer: C. Third. Explanation: the third generation moved away from individual transistors to integrated circuits, allowing computers to become much smaller and faster. Question: which of these is an input device? Answer: C. Keyboard. Explanation: a keyboard is an input device because it allows the user to send text and command signals into the computer system. Question: what is the brain of the computer? Answer: C. CPU. Explanation: the central processing unit is called the brain because it performs all the calculations and logical operations of the computer. Question: which language does the computer understand directly? Answer: C. Machine language. Explanation: machine language consists of raw binary codes that the computer's processor can execute without any translation. Question: GUI stands for? Answer: A. Graphical User Interface. Explanation: A GUI allows users to interact with the system using visual elements like windows, icons, and menus instead of typing text. Question: which of these is a non-volatile memory? Answer C. ROM. Explanation: non-volatile memory like ROM keeps its stored instructions permanently even when there is no power supply. Question: ALU stands for? Answer: A. Arithmetic Logic Unit. Explanation: the ALU is the specific part of the CPU responsible for performing mathematical addition and logical comparisons. Question: what does CPU stand for? Answer: A. Central Processing Unit. Explanation: it is the primary hardware component that interprets and carries out most of the commands from the computer's software. Question: which device connects multiple networks? Answer C. Router. Explanation: a router acts as a traffic controller that joins different networks together and directs data packets to their correct destinations. Question: the speed of a processor is measured in? Answer: C. Megahertz. Explanation: megahertz, megahertz, and gigahertz, gigahertz measure the number of internal clock cycles the CPU can perform every second. Question: which programming language is known for web development? Answer: C. PHP. Explanation: PHP is a popular server-side scripting language used to create interactive and database-driven websites. Question: which is an example of an output device? Answer: C. Monitor. Explanation: a monitor is an output device because it takes processed data from the computer and displays it visually for the user. Question: what does HTTP stand for? Answer: A. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Explanation: HTTP is the set of rules used by web browsers to request and receive files from servers over the internet. Question: which of these is a search engine? Answer: C. Google. Explanation: a search engine is a specialized website that helps users locate information across the vast World Wide Web. Question: which storage device has the fastest access time? Answer: B. SSD. Explanation: solid-state drives are faster than hard disks because they use flash memory chips instead of spinning mechanical parts. Question: what does URL stand for? Answer: A. Uniform Resource Locator. Explanation: a URL is the specific web address used to find a unique resource, such as a website or a document, on the internet. Question: which protocol is used for secure web browsing? Answer: C. HTTPS. Explanation: HTTPS uses encryption to protect the data sent between your browser and the website, preventing hackers from eavesdropping. Question: which of these is a programming paradigm? Answer: A. Object-oriented programming. Explanation: OOP is a programming style that organizes software design around objects rather than just functions and logic. Question: which of these is a low-level language? Answer: C. Assembly. Explanation: assembly is a low-level language because it is very close to the hardware and corresponds directly to machine instructions. Question: which component holds data temporarily during processing? Answer: B. RAM. Explanation: RAM acts as a high-speed scratchpad where the CPU stores the specific data it is currently working on. Question: which network topology is most fault-tolerant? Answer: D. Mesh. Explanation: in a mesh network, every device is connected to every other device, providing multiple backup paths if one connection fails. Question: what does IP stand for? Answer: A. Internet Protocol. Explanation: an IP address is a unique numerical identifier that allows devices to find and communicate with each other on a network. Question: which of these is a database management system? Answer: C. MySQL. Explanation: MySQL is a software tool used to organize, store, and retrieve structured data in a relational format. Question: which generation of computers use transistors? Answer: B. Second. Explanation: second-generation computers replaced large, hot vacuum tubes with smaller, cooler, and more efficient transistors. Question: what does SQL stand for? Answer: A. Structured Query Language. Explanation: SQL is the standard language used for interacting with relational databases to perform tasks like searching or updating data. Question: which is an example of an optical storage device? Answer: C. DVD. Explanation: optical devices use laser light to read and write data on the surface of spinning disks. Question: which of these is not an operating system? Answer: D. MS Office. Explanation. MS Office is an application suite. An operating system like Linux or Windows is required for the computer to run. Question. What does BIOS stand for? Answer. A. Basic Input-Output System. Explanation. The BIOS is the very first software that runs when you turn on your computer, making sure all your hardware is working correctly. Question. Which programming language is used for Android app development? Answer. B. Java. Explanation. Java has historically been the primary language used to write applications for the Android operating system. Question. Which of these is a markup language? Answer. B. HTML. Explanation. Unlike a programming language that uses logic, a markup language like HTML uses tags to define how a document should look. Question. What does DNS stand for? Answer. A. Domain Name System. Explanation. DNS translates human-friendly website names like https://www.google.com/search q equals Google.com into the numerical IP addresses that computers use to talk to each other. Question. Which of these is a network device? Answer. C. Switch. Explanation. A switch is a device that connects multiple computers on a local network and sends data only to the specific computer that needs it. Question. Which programming language is known for scientific computing? Answer. B. Python. Explanation. Python is the top choice for scientists and researchers because of its easy-to-read syntax and vast libraries of mathematical tools. Question. What does VPN stand for? Answer. A. Virtual Private Network. Explanation. A VPN creates a secure, private tunnel over a public network, keeping your browsing data safe and anonymous. Question. Which of these is a web browser? Answer. B. Chrome. Explanation. A browser is the software application you use to visit websites and navigate the internet. Question. What does ISP stand for? Answer. A. Internet Service Provider. Explanation. An ISP is the company you pay to provide you with a connection to the global internet. Question. Which of these is an example of cloud storage? Answer. C. Google Drive. Explanation. Cloud storage lets you save your files on a remote server so you can access them from any device with an internet connection. Question. Which programming language was developed by Microsoft? Answer. C. C#. Explanation. C#, C#, is a powerful object-oriented language created by Microsoft for building a wide range of Windows applications. Question. What does CSS stand for? Answer. A. Cascading Style Sheets. Explanation. CSS is used alongside HTML to control the colors, fonts, and overall layout of a web page. Question. Which of these is a data structure? Answer. A. Array. Explanation. An array is an organized way to store a list of similar items in a computer's memory so they can be easily accessed. Question. Which device amplifies signals in a network? Answer. D. Repeater. Explanation. A repeater boosts a network signal that has become weak due to distance, allowing it to travel further. Question. What does RAM stand for? Answer. A. Random Access Memory. Explanation. It is called random access because the CPU can jump directly to any piece of data in the memory instantly. Question. Which of these is a scripting language? Answer. C. JavaScript. Explanation. JavaScript is a scripting language that runs inside your browser to make websites interactive. Question. Which topology uses a central device? Answer. B. Star. Explanation. In a star topology, every computer is connected individually to a central hub or switch. Question. What does ROM stand for? Answer. A. Read-only memory. Explanation. ROM is permanent memory containing startup instructions that can be read but usually cannot be changed or deleted. Question. Which programming language is used for iOS development? Answer. B. Swift. Explanation. Swift is the modern language created by Apple specifically for making apps for the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Question. What does FTP stand for? Answer. A. File Transfer Protocol. Explanation. FTP is a set of rules used specifically for moving files from one computer to another over a network. Question. Which of these is a network protocol? Answer. A. TCP/IP. Explanation. TCP/IP is the fundamental language of the Internet, defining how data is broken into packets and sent to the right place. Question. What does OS stand for? Answer. A. Operating System. Explanation. The operating system is the master software that controls everything happening on your computer hardware. Question. Which of these is an example of an algorithm? Answer. A recipe. Explanation. Just like a cooking recipe, an algorithm is a clear, step-by-step process for getting a specific result. Question. Which programming language is known for machine learning? Answer B. Python. Explanation. Python's simple design and powerful AI libraries have made it the gold standard for developing machine learning models. Question. What does WAN stand for? Answer A. Wide Area Network. Explanation. A WAN is a large-scale network that spans a large geographic distance, such as a country or the entire planet. Question. Which of these is a programming language developed by Sun Microsystems? Answer. B. Java. Explanation. Java was famously released by Sun Microsystems in 1995 with the goal of being able to run on any type of device. Question. What does SSL stand for? Answer. A. Secure Sockets Layer. Explanation. SSL is the encryption technology that creates a secure link between a web server and a browser to protect private data. Question. Which of these is a loop structure? Answer. C. For. Explanation. A for loop is used in programming to repeat a block of code a specific number of times. Question. What does PNG stand for? Answer. A. Portable Network Graphics. Explanation. PNG is a high-quality image format that allows for transparent backgrounds without losing any image detail. Question. Which of these is a version control system? Answer. A. GitHub. Explanation. GitHub is a tool that allows developers to save different versions of their code and work together on the same project. Question. What does API stand for? Answer. A. Application Programming Interface. Explanation. An API acts as a bridge that allows two different pieces of software to talk to each other and exchange information.